taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need.
Right, it's about to go for lunch. I'll just see you back out a wee bit. Right. So I'll block this down with 240, both these areas, and I'm going to sand them again with 240. And as long as this the guide coat disappears, then I'll move into the centre sections, and obviously around the edges, and then we'll go back over it. I think this stage has plenty of material on it, so if we can get it all blocked out with 240 and with the bulk of it twice, then we'll jump to some 400. So yeah, if this cleans off really quick, later on, yeah, we'll jump to 400. I don't see anywhere having any issues. There's a couple of little minor pinholes, so I'll have to get some putty to put in there, or some glazing putty to put in there, and a couple of those little pinholes. I don't think there's anything left in the tube, so I've got to get another one ordered. I keep forgetting to do that. So yeah, once we've got the roof blocked out, yeah, we'll switch to 400, and then we'll do it again, and then hopefully we should be able to just leave it alone. There might be the odd little piece like down in here that we'll have to sort out, but I want to put some seam sealer along here anyway before we paint. Mainly down here where I did the repair, but we'll just check the rest of it, if you know what I mean. And the same on this side. We'll check it all out down here, make sure it's still solid, and put a wee bit in here and whatever. I think the rest of it's actually pretty good down here. I haven't had to play with it really. Should be pretty good, I think. Yeah, it looks alright. So yeah, we'll block these out again, and as long as that looks good, we'll carry on. To be honest, at this point, the roof's looking really slick. It took me a wee bit to get a couple of marks out of there, and a wee bit out to get them a couple of marks out of here, but I think we're at plenty of product, and I'm not 100%, but I think we might get away with just the one prime on here, if you know what I mean. As long as we don't break through anywhere. We might just have to puff back in somewhere before we paint, but I got a sneaking suspicion we're not going to have to put any more ply on the roof. So yeah, you know, that's a bonus. Righty, so I'm back. Let's start. I just roughly sanded this. Actually, I'll take it off the tripod for a second. I gave this a little rub back just before I left. Just started, if you know what I mean. And you can see when I rubbed this back before, it looked pretty good, from what I could tell. You know, going back down through the layers. But you can see here, still a patch. This is from where I was doing the done all the body work in through here, so you can still see there's a small ripple in there, so we've got to block that out again so this disappears again. And so like when I blocked it out the first time, it basically disappeared. There must have been still a little bit of texture left that I hadn't quite got off, but yeah, so we've blocked this down again. If we can once we get rid of these marks, then I think I'll probably do this again with the 220 and or 240, and then we'll go again after that with 400. We may get, like, we'll see how it turns out, if you know what I mean. We'll just give it a quick mist, and then we'll give it a light rub, and if it looks like it's coming off reasonably even, and you know, it's sort of coming off like this, not like some of these marks, if you know what I mean, we'll be right then. But yeah, we'll just keep doing it until you get it flat, basically. It's kind of the deal, eh? It's, people wonder why it takes so long and why it costs so much. But if you want a decent job, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, it either looks good or it looks half-assed, if you know. So we'll keep sanding and go from there.
Saving, it's everything I've been chasing. All here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me. I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough as.
Right, so yeah, we're pretty good. We've got a little bit of here, but we haven't sanded a lot across there yet. Have, but you know what I mean. Not that much. So we need to stand a wee bit more here. A few little marks here. Old one here. It's just little bits, if you know what I mean. And we're just starting to come through to the paint underneath. And look, we've got this little mark here, which we'll have to fill. It's deep-ish, if you know what I mean. It's not horrendous, but we'll have to just fill that before we obviously go too much further. But I can block a bit more off there yet. But yeah, we'll keep blocking. Just a few middle marks, whatever. Maybe if we might have to end up doing another primer across here. Maybe just spot it, but it might be worth just putting another coat on after we get it tidied up. And then if these marks are still showing at this point, if we can't get rid of them, they should fill up, if you know what I mean, with another coat or two. And obviously we can put a little bit of glazing putty if there is any other deeper ones, slightly deeper ones, and block it out again. But we'll keep going, and yeah, but I'm pretty happy with that so far. It's coming up, like, apart from those couple little marks, it's going to be pretty glassy flat. That's what I was going to show you with that, but I just didn't have quite enough friggin' stuff in there. I'll go fill it up. We're about to give you a bit of a demo of how flat that roof is in that one spot. There's a couple of ripples in it. It's not going to be perfect. There's a couple of ripples in it. We'll just keep blocking. We might better get them better. That's one thing I want here. It's pretty good though for the big damage we've done on the roof. Maybe another block out, another coat of primer. It'll be better. It will flatten out more. Might have to go to a longer block. I might do that.
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough though.
Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me.
this wee spray on where we look down here. Just see what it looks like. Pretty good. Couple of funny marks in here somewhere. Just like a little ripply, almost like it's a slight dentin, and it's actually another one in here, which I can actually see. Here I haven't got enough primer off it, you know what I mean? But maybe, hopefully, with another couple of coats. I'm not going to get, we're not going to get mega fussy, but yeah, hopefully with another couple of coats that'll come out. I'm pretty happy with that, apart from those couple of little imperfections. And they're by hardly anything really, just a very slight. The gain is actually very slight. Where there's a little mark there, I can see it. And about that right position, you can just see a little bit of faint here. Yeah, it's dead on where it is. I can't really, yeah, I can kind of feel it.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this.
Righty, so I've blocked most of that half. I'll just come back and done this side again. I'll just pulled it back as hard as I can get it. I've got one patch of steel, which is that little piece there, but you look down there, there is a couple of minor imperfections, but we're just about got rid of them. Like, they are still there, but I think with that extra couple of coats on top and then just another wee block, we should be it'll be good enough. Like, it's pretty nice now. If you look down there, hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just trying to get that. Kind of hard because I can't quite get that shadow to come all the way to the front. I could probably lift the door a little bit further, but it's just a funny. It's very slightly low there. I could probably go a little bit further. And there's a minor imperfection in here somewhere. Just it's very, very minor. You can kind of see it, but I think again with a bit more, I don't think we really need to put any more than sort of 2, maybe. If I just do not worry about the door shuts, just do the outer panels, just the main flat surfaces there that you really see, I might be able to do 3, just to give just that touch more build, because it has got a very slight low spot in here, but I'll just block it a little bit further before we do prime. I'll just work that area, see if I can get a little material off this just to even it out. and then hopefully another couple of coats just will hide that worst of that. It's probably going to show, but I'm not going to worry about putting anything else in it. I don't think it's worth stressing over, if you know what I mean. The car isn't going to be dead perfect, but that's a pretty fucking flat roof. Like, for the level we're going to, like, if you put another sort of 5 coats on, blocked it hard back again, and then did your last 2, you'd get them.
I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help.
Righty, so just before I just dug into my last little bit of my glazing putty over here. Well, I've squeezed, I think every little drop out of it. I've been using the applicator to squeeze as much out of it as I can. I've got the missus picking me another one of these up today. Hopefully shortly, but yeah. So there was just a faint little, I just couldn't get rid of the mark, and it might be still a wee bit low, I don't know. I'll block it out a little bit further. There was I couldn't get rid of the orange peel just in one wee spot, so I mixed up a little bit of glazing putty in there, and there was a couple little other marks that were just, there was a couple of pinholes that were sort of must have been in the body full of that hadn't filled very well. So a lot of them will fill again with another couple of coats, but I just put a little bit of glazing putty in a couple of the worst ones, and I just try to smear a little bit down in there. I think I did a couple of wee patches over there as well, just on the edges and bits and pieces. I can't remember, somewhere. But yeah, so we're just about done with the roof. There's a couple of little spots where there's still a bit of texture, but it's mainly in the edges. I'm just trying to get rid of. I've had to tape all my fingers up because my fingers are just getting too sensitive. Holding that net, it just kills my fingers. But I've still got to get rid of some texture across the back here. It's in between these transitions is a real pig. Trying to get it off because it's like it curls up. Plus, it's you've got like a high spot and a low spot and a high spot and a low spot. So I'm going to have to keep playing with the back piece of it as well, just a bit more. But I'm getting pretty close. There's still like a little bit of speckly down here. But I mightn't, I'll go a little bit further, but I won't go too much further because we're going to put in a couple of coats on it anyway. And obviously, as long as I've got it pretty close, I'm going to have to sand it back off again anyway. So, but as long as we can get rid of 90% of it, or 99% of it, we should be pretty good. Righty, so at the moment I think I'm finished with the roof. I've sanded around the edges. Like there's still a few little marks that I can probably sand out, but this will need a little bit of a glaze. It's a wee bit rough. So I'm not too panicked at the moment. Like there's still a few little marks. Still a wee bit of shit to get out of the back, but I'm kind of over sanding on this. So I'm going to start sanding the hood and see how that comes out with the bonnet, because that's one of the other panels that we've done quite a lot of repair on. So yeah, but it's come up pretty good. I'm pretty happy with everything. Like these can be all sanded a little bit further and whatever, but we're going to put more primer on anyway, so we'll probably wait till then. We might just run over some of these bits, but this edge probably just needs a bit more of a sand, and I want to sand down in here obviously too, but I was more worried about these lines, make sure there's nothing sticking out at me, make sure we haven't got too many big marks or anything in there. It's mainly what I was worried about. But yeah, and I've sanded part way down here. But yeah, she's looking good, looking good. Again, it might need a little bit of crystal glaze or something in here. There's a bit of a funny blemish in there, which is, you know, it feels deep-ish, if you know what I mean. Like you could sand it out, but then you'd end up with a weird spot. You know, you'd end up with a bit of a flat spot, so you're better off just to put a wee skim of something in there and then block it from there and there. And when you end up with, you know, I'm just about to sand them off, but when you end up with a fine line around here, you end up with that sort of fine line with either that's where the guide coat's quite good too, because you can sand it away until you almost have basically just this little fine edge, and then you can just rub that off, if you know what I mean, before you know, when you know you're basically ready to rub that off. So sometimes that's where guide coat's really good too. You know, you can see where the edges are, and you can come up to it, and you can keep getting in that sort of nice and straight. You can put tape down there and all sorts of things too, but on a hard edge like that, it's not quite so bad, as long as you can see where you are, and you've already got like a guide coat or something on there. At least you can see, you know, where you're coming up to, and you can keep it looking nice and uniform and straight. And then right at the end, you can just sand that edge, that line off, if you know what I mean. So I'll grab that, and we'll come over here. We'll get blocking on here, and basically we'll get rid of the original texture. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of darkish here, but you get rid of this original texture that's on the primer. And once we sort of, that's disappeared, and we end up with it more looking like what that is, and then we'll start guide coating and make sure we can get all these patches were repaired, make sure they all sand in nicely, if you know what I mean. And obviously if there's any discrepancies or whatever, we can fix them or chase them, or glazing putty, or whatever we need to do to make them better. There is a chrome strip that goes along here as well, so that will hide it a little bit, but we've got to be careful that we're not leaving marks. But yeah, we'll start blocking this out and see where we get. So just keep this handy. Right down there will be fine, and we'll start sanding.
I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Right, so we're getting there. Now, I'll just blow this off a little bit. Sorry about the noise. So we've still got a couple of marks in here that we're trying to want to sand out, but you got to refrain yourself from going that way down the edge. You got to just keep sanding across until you get rid of them. So we're sanding this. Obviously, we're miles away from getting this down, but you can see all the marks in it now. It's kind of why I coated it before to really show these up. So this is all the, all the different layers of body filler and the paint and whatever else was underneath it beforehand, if you know what I mean. And whatever, as we reshaped the bonnet and fixed all this area. So now we're going to try and sand all this primer down to get it all level before we hit the ground floor, if you want to, like if I was using that wording before, just to keep it consistent. So yeah, we'll just have to keep sanding this out until it either disappears or we hit the ground floor and we have to put more product on. I think it should disappear, but that's quite a lot of marks, so it's just going to take a bit. I'm just absolutely freaking knackered at the moment. But I might just change my paper over. This still feels alright, but I think it's lost its heavy bite, if you know what I mean. So we might just put a fresh piece on there, because I did most of the roof with that yesterday afternoon too, so it's still fine. Like, we'd use that for sanding around jams and all sorts of stuff, just cut it up, put it around small blocks for just cleaning stuff up, but yeah, I'll cut another new piece and we'll keep sanding. I'm just going to take a break for a couple of minutes, have another drink, and and then we'll hit it again and carry on from there. Right, before we run away for lunch. So we've still got a few little marks here that we're still breaking down through. This is starting to come back to me, which is good. I was a wee bit worried about that. I just wasn't sure whether this was going to come back. I've still got to do quite a bit of sanding. May have to put something obviously in here and in here. That dark spot at the front, that's definitely needs something. There's no avoiding that. I think everything else, with just a bit of time and a bit of blocking, and as long as we don't come down, like haven't got too many more issues, we're going to re-prime, so it's not a biggie. But as long as we can get a little bit of something in some of these bad spots, but we'll keep blocking that through there. We should better pull that down cleaner, and that'll bring that edge back in nicer. It kind of looked like it was over here, but now it's coming back. You can see it's coming back across. So we had probably too much. I wouldn't say too much product, but we had enough product on there to pull that down flat with everything else, and it's creeping that line back across. You can see it's quite straight, but then it goes whoop. But you can see the little bit of that edge starts coming back to us. This is I'll probably get some of this more, obviously, but there's a couple of marks in there that are deep. Well, I mean deep, like they're no deeper than what this is, but I can feel that they're not going to come out. And it's probably the same with this, but we haven't sanded it here. I think that should come, and that one there should come. I don't think there's anything else on here that's needs anything. I think the rest of this is pretty good. Yeah, I think the rest of this is pretty good. Just need to sand on that edge once we're finished to obviously get rid of the texture. And then we're going to sand the front edge. Yeah, but we're trying to get this a nice clean line through here first before we break anywhere into this. We want that line to be nice and crisp and clean that way, or as crisp and as clean as we can, and then we can pull this one here back flat again. We might even, when we think we're getting guys here, we might even guide kite it and then go the other way and see if we can get a nice clean line the other way. And that's one, it's almost like the tape trick, but you're using the guide coat instead of the tape, and as long as it looks clean and straight, you're normally pretty good. You know, you can flip it backwards and forwards, if you know what I mean. Just put a bit more guide coat on and go again, as long as you get product on there, if you know what I mean. So no, like I said, if you touch the floor, the ground floor, there's no point, you can't go any further. So, and the ground floor is steel, so if you get to that point anywhere, like any sort of section, like say if you're breaking a bit of steel here, or you just stay away from this area, you just keep sanding everything else till you get that right, and then you can, whatever mark you're trying to get out, you put a bit of a glazing putty, knock that off, and then reprime, and then pull it back down again. You know, and if it's a bad spot, well, you might have to prime that area 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get enough product on there to blend that back out and not touch the ground floor, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, I'm going to bugger off, take a break for an hour, put my feet up, have a coffee, have something to eat, try not to fall asleep, and come back. Right, I think I'm finished sanding this in the meantime. I need to sand the edges, but I'm not going to panic until I maybe get a little bit of glazing putty in a couple of these areas. I'm back through the steel here, so I've got to stop. You know, we're at the ground floor. We can't go well, we can in areas, but the area where I want to sand is going back through there, so there's no point pulling this down. This needs to come up, or whatever, you know what I mean. It needs a little bit of something, and also we need to put something in here. I've got to fix this with some glazing putty to build this up. It's obviously, that's steel, so we've got to fix that issue. And I get a wee mark in here we've got to fix. There's a few other little spots, but they just need a wee bit more sanding. They may, maybe a coat or something will pull them up too. And then I might have to put something in here, but the best thing with this is there's a big chrome strip that goes across here, or stainless strip, so it will hide a certain amount, but I'll have to make sure it's reasonably clean and tidy. So I think I'm going to leave that alone until my glazing putty turns up, which hopefully will be very, very shortly. And then I can mix up a little bit and put in there, and I can have a look at the other bits that are going to do a little bit on the roof. So I think what I might do is start sanding this door, start on a door, and block this out and see where we're at. And then at some point I will pump up the tyres and I'll lift the back end up, and we might attack the bumper this morning, or I might do that tomorrow morning. We'll see. I just want to get as much sand as I possibly can, so I know if I've got to chase any other little pieces before. Obviously I'm not worried about around the doors. We'll have whatever we rub around the doors just to scuff it up. Obviously we were spraying or whatever, but we'll have to remask off too. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be doing back and around the jams. It's mainly the main panels where it needs to be reprimed, if you know what I mean, to catch anything. And we'll just give it a light, quick wee scuff around these edges, just where, the paint's going to be coming back over. Yeah, I don't know, I'm just not sure about here. You probably really know you just need sanded out, and kind of is what it is. Maybe a little bit of glazing put in there. And it's just a matter of catching any nicks that are too deep when we go along here. couple of edges and bits and pieces. I'll have to give this a quick sand before we do put any putty into, just in case it needs any fill in here and whatever. But yeah, we'll get into the doors, and then like I said, we'll pump the tyres up on the other side because I haven't pumped them up yet, and we'll lift this up in the back end so we can start sanding this stuff and whatever. I actually don't know if that frickin' charge pack's coming up. I thought it would have. It should be showing a charge by now. It's been on there over an hour. Should be showing something, but it was dead flat. So it could be buggered, I don't know. It's not mine anyway, but it hasn't been used for so long, and it hasn't been on the charger hasn't been plugged in for so long. Like I don't know when it was plugged in last, like before I went and did the duck. So it's probably 4 or 5 months since it's been looked at. But yeah, we'll get into these, but I think I'll start with the door and whatever, and we'll get one of them blocked out, and then yeah, I won't touch the front guards until we finish that other bumper piece, and then I can take it off and leave it off until we get a bit of bluing around the jams and stuff, and then they can all go back on again, obviously. But yeah, we'll carry on. That's what we're up to anyway. Right, so to shorten, I had another one that was about the same length as this, one of these Durablocks, not Durablocks, acrylic blocks. So I shortened up because I thought I had another one that was half width, the same length as that, because that's what I've been using on here. So if you're not familiar with these acrylic blocks, look up Lucky Matt's blocks. He was the first person I discovered that was making these commercially, if you know what I mean. I'm not exactly sure because I come across them. He had sent Arco at Outlaw Edge set quite a few years ago now. So I thought, shit. I had a look at his prices, and they were fair, but just with exchange rate and all those sorts of things, and being in New Zealand and freight costs now, just sort of out of my budget at the moment, if you know what I mean. As much as I would like to buy one of his full kits, because they come in different thicknesses and all sorts of things, I'd love to get a set of his, you know, but these here work really good, but I wanted a slightly longer but skinnier block to do this bottom piece. I've been using this over most of the stuff, or you know, I can use this longer piece over everything. But I just wanted the one the same length as this. But I realised I had two that long, if you know what I mean. Whatever, doesn't matter how long they are. I think they're like 20. No, where's my long Durablock? I'll tell you how long they are. So that's my longest Durablock, which is about the same length as, well, kind of, it's a bit shorter than that. See, I've got one of them longer again, if you know what I mean. So that's pretty much my longest Durablock. Just going to grab my tape. I can't remember what length they are. I thought it was written on them. So, this Durablock, which is that pattern number, whatever it is, that's the model, AF4403. So if you've got that one, you'll know, you know what I mean? So this one here is 400 centimeters. So that's a foot. So it must be, that's 12. It must be 14 inches long. So that's, this one here is 470. So it's about another 3 inches longer. It's about 3 inches longer. So this one's about 17. And this one here is 650. So that's a touch over 2 foot long. Just to give you an idea. This little short one here is, what's that one? 10 inches? No, about 9, slightly under 9 inches. This little block here is a touch over 4. That one there is kind of in between, so that must be about 5 inches long now. That's the off cut. This one here is about 13, so it's slightly over a foot long. So it's about 13 inches long. Now obviously got, you know, these other few here. What's that one? That one is, it's not quite 10. No, not quite, sorry. Not quite 6. That one is, then this one's 4 and 9. Yes, that's 30 inches. This one is about 9 as well. So yeah, it gives you an idea of how long they are, and all the normal width of the rolls of sticky back paper or whatever this is. So I think this is 70 mils wide, which should be about 2 3/4 inch wide. And the other ones are about half that, or thereabouts, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's just a matter of using what you would use. It's the same width as what these are. I just made the same width as what the Durablocks were, if you know what I mean, because I knew that they had paper stuck in the Durablocks, so I just made these the same. But yeah, I just made myself a selection there ages ago, which is actually the same piece. It's come out of that same piece that I used from a body filler as well. And then I've got a couple of little short detailing pieces. I've actually got a couple more of these that are different, couple of different sizes somewhere. Just for doing like little areas, if you know what I mean. You can just put a little bit of paper around it or stick a little bit of paper on it, and you can clean up some like little shitty bits that are a prick to sand, if you know what I mean. So we will use this one here now. So this actually got paper stuck on it, which is, I don't know, what, 320 or 400 or something. Just, no, it's 240. I'm just using it as grip, basically, for this neat paper, because it won't stick to it, but it's working. It works well, actually. You know what, we'll carry on. Right, so I've scraped a little bit on those marks on here, and then put a little bit more on this front of this bonnet. Probably a little bit more than I wanted to, but I just redid around here because there was a few marks and a couple of wee spots. It wasn't too bad, it wasn't right, so I just wanted to put a wee more in here and here. You know, put a wee bit more in there. And hopefully the rest will just pick up with paint, with primer and whatever, once we get it. Everything else I'm pretty happy with. I want to sand along this edge again. Obviously I haven't really sort of sanded that edge just to clean up where the guide coat is still you know, pretty dirty along there yet. I haven't really sanded that properly. But we'll do that in the morning because I've had enough. It's about 4:15, but I need to have a break and tackle it again tomorrow. I think the missus is going to come down and give me a hand. I might set up a door for her in the morning on that other panel stand, or even on that one or something like that, and give her another door to start. And because it's not much point sanding around the jams just yet, because we're going to spray back over, so the overspray over all that shit anyway. Not that I'm going to be spraying around them, but when you sand or spray that and then spray the roof, there's going to be something getting down there, so it's not much point sanding them out yet. So I'll set up a couple of a door and just give her a block, and she can block it out until a certain point where she's doesn't really want to go any further than I can finish it. If not, she can just pull that top layer down a bit. So yeah, we'll do that in the morning, and yeah, I'll carry on with this one, and she can start another one, and I'll get that dialed in, and this will be another couple of panels out of the sort of ready for that. Like, we're not going to sand in here, but actually the other front one I forgot to do body working around there. So if I put any more glazing putty, I'll better flip it over and just put a bit of glazing putty in around that piece that I rebuilt. I forgot to put primer in, body primer in before I primed it. It'll need something because it's a bit rough at the moment. Yeah, that one. It needs a bit of hiding, but it won't take too much to clean that out. I probably should have ground that off a bit better, so we'll better tidy that up. I'll have to remember to do that. I just completely forgot to do it before we started priming, and I was like, oh, we can fix it. It's got to be primed again, so that's not a biggie. We can, not that I really wanted to prime the insides and again, but one, in one spot won't hurt. I'm gonna have to sand the edges, these bits properly in here anyway, because there's a couple of them we're stuck. Freaking shit on them. Anyway, we'll carry on. Right, welcome to, hold on, try that again. I'll turn the camera around the other way. Right, welcome back to NZ Hombre Garage. So, Saturday afternoon, so I've been here all morning with the missus, so I didn't really film anything. We've blocked out 3 doors. I've just got a little bit of putty in a few spots on the doors. So I'm just trying to knock them down to get them out of the road, and then I'll put the other door up and the tailgate up, and probably that front valance, and I'll block them out. I've got the bonnet basically ready to go. I haven't done the back guards or anything, or the front guards or fenders or whatever you want to call them on here yet. I'll just be trying to concentrate on getting this stuff done. So that's cool. Yeah, just pretty much what I've been doing. Freaking getting really warm here, and this is the first really hot day we've had. I was just giving the owner a hand to get his tractor up so he can do some spraying, which would be nice. Freaking keep the weeds down. They're starting to get big. He was going to use his little mower, but it's something like there's a hose connection broken or something. But that's what happens when you just throw shit in here and just don't care about anything. That's kind of what happens. But I had to move all those signs back out of the road, because once we got it out of the road, they all sit there away from the tractor. So anyway, so I'll do a bit more sanding, and then we'll swap some panels around. I'm not going to show much. I'm just going to get into it, but I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So yeah, this is just, there's a few more marks, and just the odd weird spot, if you know what I mean. A little bit, just a little bit low around that door handle, still in one corner. Now some of these things you just don't pick up until you've, got a decent amount of primer on there and you blocked it out, and find there's just the odd little funny spot in the corner or whatever, you know what I mean. It's kind of hard to tell until sometimes you can do as much as you want with, the old paint and body filler, body filler, and you get it all blocked out with 80 grit or whatever you go to before you put primer on. But yeah, if you just sometimes you just find there's the odd low. Sometimes you miss a bit of a scratch or a gouge or something in somewhere, and you just haven't got quite enough shit in it. And hopefully when you prime, you know, there's enough material to block down to, but sometimes you get where things are a bit high and you just can't get down in there, you know, without creating weird spots. You know, you got a couple of high edges and whatever, and you just can't get it out without making waves in the bloody thing. So you're better off just to stop and put a little bit of putty in, knock it down, another 3 coats on top. We'll pull these up. It should do anyway, you know what I mean? By the time I've got all these bits knocked down, I might have to chase that couple little spots. This door here, again, it's just a few little spots. I put a little bit the same in that corner. It's weird from people being slamming on clothes, but I just need a wee touch more, just in one spot, where I put it, like it was hardly anything, but you know, it was low, just still a wee bit low in here, and it just needs a little bit more putty. I just didn't quite enough. I just thought that would have been enough to block it out, but it wasn't. And you're using a big long block, you know, that covers the door handle, and we've got, so you can't tear it into it too much, otherwise you end up like that, even though it looks flat, if you know what I mean. But that's where, you know, you just got to put that decent build back on so you can bring it back down again, or bring these bits back up above this, so when you've got something to block out and you're not blocking fresh air, if you know. But yeah, just got to touch these down a little bit more. I'll just change my paper when I was over here, so I might just run over some of these spots just one more time. We'll get these knocked out and then throw the other door and that up and carry on. I'm pretty happy with the bonnet. I don't think there's anything I need to get on that. I've still got to sand the very edges of this roof yet, but I will do that when I do this. Oh, fucking bird shit on there. Freaking birds. Anyway, so yeah, I'll still just clean these edges up, but I'm not too panicked at the moment, if you know what I mean, because we're still got another block out. I'll still sand that too. You know, we'll just give that a quick scuff before we do blow some primer in there, but I'll just run down there and just make sure there's nothing bad that's going to stick out, you know, that I need to put something in. But you know, we'll check all that when we do all this stuff. I might have to do that tomorrow, because I still want to get that other end of that bumper sorted yet. I haven't got back to that yet. And oh yeah, that's right, I put a wee bit of putty in here too, so I haven't still even got back to that yet. Mind you, I haven't touched the body shell. I've been working on the doors and that hood, so they're all good and ready to go. But it just shows, you know, like all the different bits in the hood, like where I've had to block it down to get rid of as many marks as possible, and the waves and just any other weird spots, you know, with guide coating and whatever. But that's where, you know, that's the really what the first block out is about, to really find out what you need to do, and then put another couple of 3 coats on top, and hopefully when you block it out this time, you know, you should be really good. You should be pretty close, like good enough that you can put a coat of paint over it and you'll get a decent result. If you want it really freaking nice, then you would pour probably the 4 or 5 on it, block it out hard again, and then do your couple of coats. And then when you block it out hard again, you would stop when you start seeing any other colours come through, because you know that you're well and truly down. But at that point, like, you haven't got any steel showing, you haven't got any, you know, you might just, what I mean, like, you might just come down to like to this level where you can just see the colour starting to come back through, and as long as everything else was no other marks or whatever, you know, you're pretty much spot on. And that's where I'd stop and then put another couple of coats over top and then give it another block, or your final, you know, block with 400 and 600 or whatever you're going to do, depending on what you're going to paint it with, you know, whether it's going to be a metallic or a candy or whatever, if you know what I mean. But yeah, if you're going to be doing those sorts of things like a candy or whatever, you got to go back through that next step. Whereas a solid colour, with no clear coat or anything on it, you got a little bit of leeway, because if you can get a half decent build of that on too, you can do a wet sand, and any little fine marks, if there is any little imperfections or something you're not 100% happy with, you know, with a wet sand, they will possibly disappear as well, if you know what I mean. As long as it's really good at this point, you know, and you do spray and you think, ooh, 100%, you know, but yeah, if I put an extra coat on of colour, you know, that might be just enough for me to wet sand it to 3000 and have a really nice. But yeah, it just depends on how much the customer's got and how much time you're going to spend on it. If it was your own car, you can spend as much time as you like on it, you know, as long as you can keep afford to buying, you know, high build and whatever else, or, you know, or if you want to spend every minute hammering out every little dint and nook and cranny, and you've got access to all the tools, well, yeah, you can go as far as you want then, if you know what I mean. But if you're doing somebody's paint job, you know, it depends on the level. But this will be really nice, you know, with another two, with probably 3 coats. We'll do at least 3, just with some of these marks. You know, we'll give it another good block out, and we should be good, you know, as long as it comes up clean. And we're not coming through to any other colours too quick or anything like that, or touching steel fast, and we get a nice clean surface. We'll give it a quick scuff over with some 400, even give it a quick rub with some 600, and we'll spray it. And you know, we've got 4 litres of colour here, so you know, we'll give it probably a couple of good 3 on the inside, make sure it's got decent colour and around the jams and everything else, and then we can just pour whatever else we want on the outside of it. And we'll just try and, you know, we'll save a bit to put on the bonnet, under the hood, if we get a chance to, you know, we'll make sure we get enough to do that. Because really it shouldn't take a lot with a quick scarf. You know, I'm not going to prime in here. Maybe the odd spot, if you know what I mean. But we can just give this pull the bits out, give it a good scuff up, and go from there, if you know what I mean. Like, it'll colour up pretty quick because it's a similar colour. You know, you can use that as a base as long as it's got a decent scuff, and the paint's going to stick. It'll be fine. You know what I mean? You're already halfway there with the colour, so like a couple of coats will pull that colour up nice. Yeah, carry on. Righty. So I've got this door up here. I've got that one down. This is the other one. But I remembered that I hadn't done any little bit of filler work in here, so I just mixed up a couple little batches of glazing putty. Just put in here because that's the one I rebuilt all this. This is the section here, so I've just put it into fill the, obviously the weld joins and whatever to just pretty that up. So I've done a little bit, and then I knocked it back, and I've just done another little bit over top just to try and clean it up. So I'll start seeing that, and then knock that off. I'll just knock it off with a bit of 80 grit, and then when we prime the other side, I'll just make sure I blow underneath there a couple of times and get a half decent build back on that piece. And then we'll just give it a nice scuff out with a bit of 240 and 400 or whatever, and it should be fine. It's in front of the door, like you're not going to be staring at it, as long as it's decent and smooth. 9 times out of 10, by the time you've put 2 or 3 coats of colour on there, it's amazing what it will hide for just in around that area, so that'll be fine. Anyway, I'll carry on. We'll start blocking these out. Actually, I lie. I'm going to take a break for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to block it out. Alright, I was going to film a bit more. I was going to film blocking that off, but I've been doing it around here as well while I was just letting that go off. But it's 4 o'clock and I think I've had enough. I'll come back and do some more tomorrow. Not that I really want to, but I need to get this stuff all blocked out. And get the rear end blocked out. I know those 2 back guards are going to be a bitch. I've kind of avoided them, but well, they're not going to be a bitch. I'm worried about around these pieces here. I'm just worried about these, but it might surprise me, if you know what I mean. But we'll attack that tomorrow, and then obviously those, because I would like to. Yeah, I was hoping to maybe get prime on them tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen by the time we mask it back out again. But even if I can do it first thing Monday, or you know, early Monday or midday Monday, it'll be better than nothing, if you know what I mean. Because then I can, if I'm only putting 2 or 3 coats on, I would probably start blocking it out Tuesday afternoon or something. We'll just see. We'll see. But it won't take too much longer to do this and that. Or this will be easy because it's hardly any There was hardly any repairs on it. There's a little bit along here, which actually looks good. I haven't blocked it out hard, but or re-primed it and blocked it, but that looks good so far. If you know what I mean. I don't see anything. There might be a little bit of a funny spot there, but we'll just deal with it. It's actually, yeah, a bit of a funny spot there, but yeah, no, we'll just deal with it. We'll just block it out, and it is what it is. It's going to be pretty nice anyway. But yeah, and we'll get the door block back. I've rubbed back the inside of that other door around that front door piece. Looks decent. Yeah, we'll give it another couple of coats of primer and whatever, and we'll just see how it pulls up. And that won't take too long. Oh, you got to do a bit of body work on that too, don't I? Two minds whether to frig around with that top piece or not. Because by the time I've got it in here and whatever, and the mount's missing for it, I'm actually half wondering if I should pull that stupid. Oh, they've welded that on there too. Under the bottom of this. I might better pull that off and make a. It's got a mount. It's got a mount at the bottom. It's meant to have a mount on there, so I might better make a tab on that and just pull it back a little bit, and we'll just fudge it up. You don't see it, really. So, just save me a whole lot of extra work, if you know what I mean. For bugger all game. Like, as much as I would like to straighten up and fix it, I'm just worried about time and costing people money, if you know what I mean, at this point. So sometimes these things take longer than what you expect, and when you know the person's budget's not massive or whatever, you know, you can't keep pushing. Sometimes you got to just cut it off, and if it's really super critical, now we'll clean the bottom of it up. We'll see, we'll put a bit of that texture coat on there. And flick a bit of that black shit on the insides of the bottoms of those doors. Might do that before we prime. If I can get that sorted, I might do that before we prime. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Won't be too bad. It just, man, sometimes it takes longer than you think to frickin' get these things blocked out. So, like, I want it to get it to a decent level. I don't want to give it back to this person. It looks like shit. I don't think it's going to look any worse than it would ever did, and it should be like 100 times better. But you know, I want to give back a good product, and you just can't cut corners. If something's not 100% dead right, and you've got to block it back 3 or 4 times within, you know, that priming. You know, you rub out the marks that you can see, like the texture, guide coat it. Rub it out again. Well, it's still not 100% perfect. You know, you're getting back through it and whatever. You know, and you think, oh, I got it right again. So you know, but you know there was a few odd spots. So you know, put a wee bit of glazing putty in it, missed it again, rub it again. You know, and sometimes you got to do that until you're satisfied with how it looks too. You know, like when I was wetting the sides of these panels. You know, if you look down and you think, oh, yeah, no, if I rub it out again, there's still material on here, it's going to get better, you know. Sometimes you just got to do that extra couple of steps just to get that better result, instead of, you know, looks alright until, you know, it looks really nice, you know. I want to give back a decent product. I don't want to cut freaking too many corners, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to get away from that, but it depends on the level of the job and what people can afford to pay. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to grab all my water bottles. I'll empty that one and put some fresh stuff in it, and grab those other two and get out of here.